I want to start this video by asking you guys a question, and I want you to really think about this. I know you guys are busy, but just take a second and really think about what I'm going to be saying here. Have you guys ever walked out of an interview where you felt pretty confident, like you replay it over and over in your head and you're thinking, man, I answered everything so well, I didn't freeze up, I just felt like myself, I felt comfortable, I felt confident. And there's no way in the world that you think that you did not land this job. But then a few days later, after some waiting, you get that same email or phone call that everybody gets and everybody dreads, which is, hey, we appreciate your time, but we're going to be moving forward with other candidates. And it just kind of hits you like, what did I do wrong? What am I missing? I thought I did so good. Because it's confusing. I mean, you did what you were supposed to do. You showed up prepared. You practiced your answers, but still, something just didn't land. So before we even jump into this, I want you guys to drop a comment and tell me what is one thing that you feel that you struggle with the most when it comes to interviews or just work or life in general. And I don't mean some perfect answer. I mean the honest one. Maybe you feel like you overthink everything, you don't know how to talk about yourself without it sounding awkward, or maybe you just take feedback a little too personally or it throws you off. But whatever it is, put it down there because the chances are you're not the only one dealing with it. And I really want to get a conversation going because I know there's so many people that deal with this. But the answer that I believe that most of you should be saying, or most of your answers will be related to, is going to be soft skills. Because the frustrating part is that nobody sits you down and teaches you this. They tell you to dress nice and brush your teeth and put some deodorant on. But somehow you're expected to already have them figured out, these soft skills. They're just supposed to be embedded without anybody explaining what the hell they even are. So instead of just guessing what might be wrong, let's actually break down the 4 soft skills that I personally make a huge difference. And it's not just in getting hired, but it's about how people see you the moment you walk into the room. So the first one is going to be able to communicate effectively, and I want to take a second to explain what that actually means because people hear that all the time, but they don't really know how to apply it. A lot of people think that communication is about sounding smart and saying the right thing, but in reality, it's more about being clear enough that the other person doesn't have to work to understand you. And you'd be surprised on how many people struggle with this. Not because they don't know what they're talking about, but because they try to say everything at once. This is a problem that I have. They start answering a question and halfway through they remember something else they wanted to add, so they throw that in there. Then at the end of the story, it's just a jumbled up piece of mess that nobody knows how to break down and understand. So if you ever caught yourself doing this, you're not alone. Like I said, man, I do this all the time because it usually comes from nerves. I'm always nervous. A lot of you guys, I'm sure, are nervous. You just want to get everything out before you forget it. But the shift that changes everything is that instead of trying to say more, you need to focus on saying things in a way that's just easier for people to follow. Think of it as like you're guiding someone through a thought process, not dumping information on them all at once. So when somebody asks you a question, give yourself a second, even if you're a little uncomfortable, and just try to organize what you're about to say. You can literally think, what's the situation? What did I do? And what happened because of it? Because when you start doing that consistently, something interesting happens. You don't just sound like you're more confident, you actually feel like you're more in control of the conversation, and that's what people pick up on. The second skill is going to be able to take constructive criticism. Now, this one tends to hit because it's less about what you say, it's more about what you react and how you react to it. If we're being honest, let's just be honest, man. Most people don't naturally enjoy being told that they could have done something better. I can't stand when people tell me I screw up. You could just tell it pisses me off. I sit there, I kind of look away. It makes me mad because I can do no wrong. I'm perfect, right? I can't make a mistake. I'm perfect. But it's easier to hear feedback and immediately feel like, it's a reflection of who you are instead of just somebody telling you, hey, you could fix this or you could do this a little bit better. You take that as a personal attack and then people feel like they can't talk to you. So what happens is people either get defensive or they shut down a little or they just nod along just to make it look like they understand without actually changing anything. But if you look at it from an employer's perspective, feedback is one of the biggest things they pay attention to because it tells them whether or not you're someone they can actually develop into what they want to be for their company. They're not expecting you to walk in perfect, and if they do, run the other way. But most of the time, they assume that you need to learn, and if it's a good company, they will give you the resources to learn and become the best person that you possibly could be. Because what they're really trying to figure out with you is if we give this person guidance, are they going to use it, or is this just going to be a waste of resources and time, and is it going to be just a joke? Are we gonna pour all this money and all these resources into this guy to just walk out in 2 weeks? Or is this a guy that we see being at the company and that could take criticism, learn from it, be better for it? Because the thing is, it doesn't always feel good, and it probably won't ever feel good, but to take constructive criticism is one of the biggest things you can do to not only have people like you and make you more approachable, but it makes you more money down the line. It gives you more opportunity, networking. If you could talk to people and take information in from people, they feel comfortable around you. They want to help you out. It does nothing but good things for you. If you can pause instead of reacting right away and actually listen to what's being said, you can start to slowly but surely separate your emotions from the message that needs to be worked on and dealt with. And once you do that, you can ask yourself, okay, what part of this can actually help me improve? Because this simple shift is how you receive feedback, and it can completely change how people see you over time. The third skill is being able to sell yourself and relate to people. And I know the word sell can feel uncomfortable because it makes it sound like you have to be someone that you're not, but that's not what this is about. It's really about understanding how to present yourself in a way that connects with the person in front of you. Because whether you like it or not, every interview is a form of a sales conversation, just not in the way that people usually think about it. You're not trying to convince someone with pressure or scripts or empty promises. You're trying to show them how your experiences and your mindset fit into what they need. And where people tend to struggle is they focus entirely on themselves without thinking about the other side of the conversation. So they lift off their skills, their experience, what they've done, but they never really connect it back into why it matters for a specific role or for that specific company. You see, the people that stand out do something slightly different. They still talk about themselves, don't get me wrong, but they frame it in a way that answers an unspoken question, which is, how does this help us instead of just solely helping me? And the relating to people part is honestly simpler than most people make it out to be, because it's not about being overly outgoing or trying to impress someone. It's about being present enough in the conversation that it actually feels natural. It feels like a heart-to-heart conversation you're having with somebody. It's not a front that you're putting up. Because when you listen, respond, and show interest, people feel that and they will respect that. And when people feel comfortable around you, they start to picture what it would be like to actually work with you. And you see, that's the moment where decisions start to shift in your favor. The fourth skill is being able to accept and overcome failure. And this is the most important, I feel like, long term, because at some point you're going to get rejected. If you're on this path to being successful, you're going to get rejected not just once, probably a lot. And it's going to push you down, it's going to kick you down. And it's so easy to take that personally, because when you feel like you gave your best effort, you start questioning yourself whether you said the wrong thing or you're just not good enough yet. But what separates people who eventually succeed from the ones who stay stuck is how they interpret these moments. Some people see rejection as proof that they should just stop trying, while others see it as a part of the process, even if it's frustrating. And the difference between those two mindsets is everything. So when you start treating each setback as information instead of a failure, you begin to notice patterns. Maybe you realize you tend to rush your answers, or don't explain things clearly, or you just struggle to connect with people. But the thing is, these aren't permanent problems. They're things that you can work on over time. And the more that you approach it that way, the less intimidating failure becomes, because it's no longer the end of something, it's just a feedback in a different form. And when you're not afraid of failing, you show up differently. You're more confident, you take more chances, and you improve faster than most people that are around you. So I want you guys to step back and look at all this together. Hopefully you start to realize that most people are trying to stand out by just adding more to their resume or their LinkedIn. They think that's the missing piece, but in reality, a lot of these candidates look the exact same. Their resumes look the same. Their LinkedIns look the same. You see, what actually separates you is how you show up in real life interactions. The first 5 seconds of seeing somebody, you usually have a pretty good idea in your head whether this guy is lazy, whether he's confident, whether he's a go-getter, whether you like him or not. It's how you communicate your thoughts to these people. It's how you handle feedback when things don't go right. It's how you respond to things. These are the moments that people remember, and these are the moments that are going to get you hired at that job that you want so damn bad. It's just you. It's how you communicate. It's how you handle feedback. It's all of that. It's you. It's the personal, soft skills that you created and you worked on all these years, or you will begin to work on throughout the years, that will get you that job. So if there's one thing I just want you guys to take from this video, it's that you don't need to be perfect and you don't need to have everything figured out right now. When you guys watch these videos, you're probably excited. You want to jump into it, fix everything immediately. Shit's going to take time. It's going to take a long time, but that's a battle that you have to be able to, commit yourself to and put your very best in every aspect of it. You don't need to have everything figured out. But if you start working on these, even these 4 skills, there's many more. But these 4 skills that I laid out for you, even in the smallest ways, you'll start to notice how people respond. And that shift opens doors. Now, I want to hear from you. Which one of these 4 do you feel like are holding you back right now? Let me know down in the comments. Is it communication, criticism, selling yourself, dealing with failure? Drop it down below, because I read through these and I want to have a conversation with you guys. I want to see what you guys think about this video. I want to see which one of these are holding you back. Let me know. Drop it down there, because I will be reading through them. And that's all I got for today. So I appreciate the hell out of you guys. If you guys like the video, like it, subscribe if you're new. And I got many more coming in the future. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.